been interesting. Very, very interesting. Ever since the the news that came out from Warner Media and HBO Max, a little bomb that was dropped that's essentially a game changer. Changing pretty much the game is changing in the movie industry, and it's been pretty interesting seeing my timeline as well as my mentions, kind of arguing with people, but not so much, just trying to have more of a discussion, which is what I try to do. I try not to be that sassy, but sometimes I let the sass out because, well, you got to. But it's been very interesting to see the reactions and everything. So obviously I did my initial reaction to it as I was driving, which is perfectly safe, of course. But I figured I'd do a follow-up video and really break it down. So here we go, guys. Let's do it. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, let's talk about what happened today. Now, obviously, you guys know what happened today. Basically, this day will go down in history, I guess you could say, that where Warner Brothers, Warner Media, they decided to be like, hey, let's be the first ones to just fucking do this. This is where it's heading. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Even though the vaccination is going to be finally starting to get out there, it's just we're going to be going into 2021 still in pandemic mode. So obviously, when it comes to the movie theaters and everything like that, it's like, well, what do you do? What do you do? Obviously, this past year, thinking about I only went to the movies. I went to the movies probably 4 times this year. It's crazy to think about. Crazy to think about that. The last movie that I saw in the movie theaters was Tenet, and I had to drive to San Diego. I had to drive an hour and a half to San Diego just to go watch a movie. And when it comes to where I'm at right now, the county that I'm in, and corresponding counties, doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. I really, really want to watch Wonder Woman 84 on a big screen, on IMAX and everything, because obviously they shot scenes specifically for IMAX. Patty Jenkins actually talked about that today. Tickets are on sale, but guess what? Can't find any movie theaters that are open. So it looks like Christmas Eve, I'll be eating Santa's cookies and probably watching Wonder Woman 84 in the comfort of my own home, which is not that bad, but at the same time, I just want to see it on the big screen. And if I can find an IMAX on Christmas Day or anytime after, I will go to it just to give it that support and just to see it there. And that's the thing too, guys, is we got to remember that. And that's what I saw a lot when it came to all this. A lot of people, of course, are saying cinema's dead. It's dead in a sense. The movie industry, the theater chains, they're suffering because, right after, pretty much right after, how the stock market works, it just reacts to anything that drops. And right after, theater stocks plunge after Warner Brothers sends 2021 films to HBO Max. So there you go. And I even read something too that HBO, that AMC, not too happy about it. Seems like they're always getting pissed off. Remember, they had a little tiff with Universal earlier this year when they were talking about the whole streaming thing and what they were thinking about doing. But so theater stocks plunge after Warner Brothers. Now, an interesting reaction that I was getting when it came to all this, because, obviously, a lot of people are talking about the Batman, okay? And I even forgot too. I'm like, all right, that's right. The Batman is coming out in 2022. That's right. It's not coming out in 2021. So this is all supposed to be for 2021. Okay, this was an announcement. They gave, the slate, everything that's coming out in 2021 is going to be released on the same day on HBO Max. No extra charge, no nothing. That's why I was like, your move, fucking Disney, with your $30 premium charge. I guarantee you guys, I'm just waiting. We're all just waiting for Disney to be like, fuck, I guess we got to do it too. And it's like, come on. Yeah, you better do it. What else are you going to do? It's going to be interesting to see how they react and how long it's going to take before, the fucking Mickey Mouse Club reacts to what HBO Max is doing. But anyways, I was seeing a lot of people talking about but we must remember that there are going to be theaters open. Obviously the 2 biggest markets, New York, California, still closed. It just doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. And, especially in California. California is just, I don't know what the hell's going on. The governor, the mayor, I always talk shit about those two fucking idiots, on the live shows, because they just want to shut down I don't know. It's all crazy. But so when it comes to what's happening right now and moving forward, I mean, obviously when it comes to HBO Max, a lot of people when they were seeing this, were like, oh yeah, well, the Batman's coming out in I saw a lot of like diehard the Batman fans that are just really looking forward to it. They're like, nope, it's coming out in theaters. That's it. Just cinemas, theaters. That's it. It's not going to go to HBO Max right on the same day. Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. It totally is. And the reason why, guys, is like, look what happened. Right after the announcement, theater stocks plummeted. Okay. There's no way in hell that these movie theater chains are going to be able to just sit around and wait for the pandemic and everything to turn back to normal. A lot of people just think, oh yeah, once the vaccination's out there, blah, 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 it just all turns back to normal. Bullshit. It's not going to turn back to normal, guys. We're not going to go back to pre-2020. And we're not going to go back to 2019. Okay. Even though if we have a vaccination or something like that, there's still going to be regulations. It's still going to be weird shit that's going on. And God knows what's going on when it comes to politicians in the government, when it comes to all this shit. It baffles my mind that some of these people like actually made it to where they are when it comes to their political success. I don't understand. But, I mean, to me, it's just like, well, they have all the power, so they're just going to lie to us. Of course, that's what politicians do. They do that. But when it comes to the theaters reopening, I mean, first off, I mean, it's not going to happen for a while, and they're going to close down big time. And if they do have to reopen, they're going to have to cut costs. And if they're going to cut costs, they're going to be shutting down like crazy. I've been saying this for a while, where it's like movie theaters are going to end up like, there's probably going to be like 75% of movie theaters are just going to shut down. And then certain movie theaters will stay open, probably the IMAX theaters. And then they're going to have to make like a whole attraction out of it. They're going to become theme parks where you literally are going to have to drive a half an hour at least to find a movie theater, watch it. There's going to have to be like a full-on restaurant, bar, all kinds of shit. They're going to have to like jazz up some of the ones that stay open just to fucking make some kind of impact when it comes to all this stuff. But like small movie theater chains, like, the one I go to right here that's attached to a mall, the Harkins right there. And then there's like I think it's a Regal or a Cinema Star or something like that, like the little matinee $5 theater, that there's no way in fucking hell that theater is going to reopen. No way in hell. And I'm wondering about this one too. So they can't just like sit around. I mean, during this whole time, they're just going to start shutting down. And you realize you have a big, huge company like Warner Media just announced that, hey, you don't have to go to the movies when this movie comes out. These big movies like Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Dune, Godzilla versus Kong, these big, huge movies that, people have been waiting for, these tentpole movies. Yeah, you could just watch them in your own home. A lot of people are going to choose that over going to the movie theater. Why? Because the media has scared the shit out of everybody. The politicians have scared the shit out of everybody. Even though we have, vaccination coming out and everything like that, still, people are scared. They're still scared. Okay, there's a lot of people that are scared, sadly. I, for one, what I've been saying and what I want to do with Wonder Woman 84 and what I would do for all the movies that are coming out is I will go watch them in the movie theater, get that cinematic experience that I always crave and that I love. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to do that. But I love the fact, that I can come home and I can watch it again if I wanted to. I can watch it again. I can just put it right on. Movie that I just watched in the movie theaters, and I can come home and I can fucking watch it. I love that aspect of it, and I wish, and I hope, and I think there'll be a pretty significant group audience out there that'll do the exact same because they want to get out of the house and they want to go out on a date and do all this stuff and maybe go to a movie theater where they can lounge up, have some good food, have some drinks, and just have a good time. I hope that it does that. I hope people do that. I hope you guys do that, but I can understand if you don't want to do that, you're still a little scared, maybe you're high risk, perfectly fine. Alternative, watching in the comfort of your own home. But the thing is though, guys, like I said, movie theater chains can't rely on that. They can't rely on like the hope of like people just actually going out there, and that's what a lot of people were just thinking like, I literally had people in my mentions just go like, oh yeah, when things turn back to normal. I'm like, what the fuck is even normal anymore? It's not going to go back to 2019, guys. It's not. It's forever changed because there's going to be COVID-21, COVID-22, or something else that's going to be coming out too. God knows, Jesus Christ. And then the next thing I kept seeing is a lot of people were like making it seem like Warner Media and HBO Max are just like, yeah, you know what? Just Americans, US, that's it. Who gives a shit about all the other countries? We're just concentrating on America. It almost, I was like seeing like, oh, what about international? It's like, guys, it would be a horrible business decision if they weren't going to incorporate international. And the logistics of all that deals that have to be made with different outlets and everything like that. I mean, obviously, when we were talking about HBO Max, they were talking about, you got Sky, and, they were trying to work out certain things. And remember, people were sending me stuff like halfway through 2021, it'll be able to reach like Latin and Europe countries. But then it was like, yeah, I mean, that report came out, but now I'm just wondering, like, and you got Jason Kilar going like, hey, let's do this. I'm pretty sure they got the idea. And I mean, then you got this article that came out right here, and I even ran it by my buddy who's like, within the world. He even says right here, I mean, just the title itself, HBO Max plotting local international originals based on DC Comics IP as Warner Media steps up global rollout of streaming service. So they got a plan, guys. They got a plan. Casey Bloys, Chief Content Officer, HBO and HBO Max, revealed that it was exploring that DC-related content it could make outside the U.S. based on the library of genre titles. This would build on HBO Max's upcoming DC series, including Peacemaker, a spinoff of blah 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 blah, Matt Reeves' Batman film. Oh yeah, they're talking about that spinoff too. Yeah, they're talking about all of this. And it says one of the big themes of bringing HBO Max together was breaking down the silos between HBO, Warner Brothers TV. Yeah. And, they're talking about that HBO is producing original series in Europe, Latin America, and Asia for a number of years with series including, like Wasteland and The Pact and just a lot of these things. One of the things that we're going to do with Max is that all of our international productions will eventually live on Max, and we're going to do a much better job of coordinating between all the folks programming in Europe, Latin America, Asia. So if there's anything that we're developing that has real cross-border appeal, we'll be able to highlight that. It's going to happen, guys. I mean, we don't have to worry. All you international people out there, because I know a lot of international people, follow me, watch my videos, you'll be okay. Okay. It's going to take a little time. Just a little patience. Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing my Axl Rose impression, but I am, because I love that song, and we just need a little patience. And I know, I mean, luckily, a lot of these movies that are slated to come out that were actually, that were actually shown, all the different movies. I'll pull this up right here, which is kind of cool. We got logos for like all these movies, new logos, which is cool. And here it is right there. I'll zoom in on a couple of them. Some of them we already knew about, but a lot of them are coming out in the second half of 2021. So hopefully by that time, there'll be this international rollout, and it's going to be everywhere. I mean, they're putting all their, like I said, even in my video before, it's like they're going all in. They're pushing all the chips in. And I love the fact that Warner Media is the first ones to do it, and everybody's going to follow suit. But all these movies, except for, yeah, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I've been, even Jason Kilar was like, oh yeah, a little thing called Zack Snyder's Justice League. Supposed to be coming out in a few months. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, he just said a few months. Oh, it's like, what the fuck have I been saying? We've been saying on the vodka stream, March. I mean, but nobody paying attention. Come on. I know. I'm not. Obviously, I don't have as big of a reach as, as I try to make it seem. It's okay. Anyways, I don't know what that was. I was trying to like make it seem like I was blowing my head up bigger. I should have did more than anything. Anyways, so yes, March. I mean, that's what I have kept hearing. So did other people, and even including her, of course. It's like she heard March as well. So, and I don't know. I'm sure they'll have certain things figured out when it comes to that. And then I even mentioned too, and I even talked about it with some people as well in my mentions, is does Zack Snyder's Justice League now, is it going to be a 4-part series? Most likely not, because obviously that was going to be a big draw. And if you middle of March or end of March and you have 4 weeks and it bleeds into April, obviously you get 2 monthly services right there. That's like what's $32, $33, whatever the hell it is, plus tax. You get all that right there. Cool. That works. That's how you keep that flow going. But now that everything in 2021 is going to release the same day, now I'm looking at it like, well, looks like Snyder's going to get his theatrical release. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the whole logistics. This is like what's interesting about this, because it's a 4-hour plus fucking movie. Okay, that's spread out. And even people were like, well, I mean, cool. It was supposed to be a movie anyways. And I wish some guys would get that out of their fucking heads, that it's like, oh yeah, Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was intentionally supposed to be a fucking movie, man. And I'm like, yeah, but listen to Zack Snyder. He said it on the vodka stream himself. When I interviewed him, he said 6 chapters and an epilogue. Okay, so it was always going to play out like a series with 6 chapters and an epilogue, which essentially, like, you see, it's like 7 chapters. My guess is like each episode was going to have 2 chapters each, and maybe the epilogue was going to be its very own episode. Could have been it. I don't know. That just seems like the way to go if you were going to divide it up into 4 episodes. But that's the way that was all going to like play out. And it's like, some people don't, it's like, that's what the guy wanted. He wrote it out like that. And it's like, that's been done before. Tarantino, that's why it was so easy for Tarantino's Hateful Eight to be converted into like, a mini series as well, because he writes his movies like chapters. That's why he's going to do with Once Upon a Time, apparently, too. And they did that with the, they didn't put it out in like episodes, but they could have easily done that with the director's cut of Dr. Sleep, which, of course, a lot better, flows a lot better, because it does read like a book. Yeah, probably because it's based on a book. So you got that. So I'm just saying, I don't know what the logistics of that too, but I'm just saying, I'm thinking we're definitely going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League release. I'm wondering if we're going to get that black and white IMAX that he was talking about too, that he talked about when I interviewed him. That I hope does happen, because I do want to see it all obviously in color, but I also want to see the black and white noir, I guess you'd say, version as well. So hopefully we get both, and then we get to watch it whenever the fuck we want. It's so great. That's what I love about it. What I hate about it is, yes, movie theater chains are just going to start wiping out. They're going to start closing down. And it's like, hey, politicians, if you really want to do something with those big, huge buildings that's going to have a lot of space in them, hey, especially in California, Newsom, Garcetti, you fuckwits, how about turning those into some kind of rec centers? I don't know, something like that. Homeless, they can maybe do some, don't just keep those buildings abandoned. How about that, you fuckheads? Jesus Christ. They won't do that. They don't give a fuck. That's why. I'm too busy eating $1,000 plates and everything like that. But anyways, so what was really cool, though, like I said, even yesterday, I think on Film Junkie Live, I was like, give me something from Mortal Kombat. Just something, a little bit of something. And of course, here it is right here. And I'm like, that's something. We got the logo, official logo, movie logo of Mortal Kombat. Now I just want to see a little bit of footage, or at least what the characters are looking like. Can we get a little bit of that? Please. It's funny, too, because a report came out that they talked about Warner Brothers, like, oh, yeah, Warner Brothers thought about releasing this on streaming service, but they're just going to delay it instead. Nope, not going to happen now. Obviously, it was supposed to come out in January. I don't know when it's going to come out now, but now they'll have both. And then, of course, the big one, too, that a lot of people were talking about when it comes to logos was, of course, Godzilla versus Kong. Bam! Look at that shit. Beautiful. B-A-beautiful. So we got that right there. Awesome stuff. And then, of course, there was other things, too. And I love that Jason Clark, which I'd love to interview the guy. I've been trying. A couple people have been trying to help me to try to, like, hey, wonder if he'd actually show up on a live stream. Get him on the vodka stream and really talk about this. Obviously, this one is for the fans. When it comes to all these right here, obviously, I'm looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong, The Suicide Squad, Conjuring, Dune, Wonder Woman 84, Matrix 4, which is cool. Obviously, everybody could have pinpointed that's what the logo was going to look like. It was going to look like that. Tom and Jerry, I think just looks stupid. Space Jam 2, get the fuck out of here. I don't really care. Judas the Black Messiah looks interesting. To the Heights, that's a musical. Not sure. Those Who Wish Me Dead, I'm not even sure what that is. There's just a couple of things here that I'm not even sure what exactly they are. But it was something. It is interesting that this is a slate now that is actually going to be official. How many times have we seen a slate, guys, that ended up not being the case? And I mean, obviously, we saw a lot of DC slates and stuff like that. And it's just like, remember when that all happened? Remember there was like I remember like 6 years ago, we had like Jeff Johns and Kevin Smith talking about the DCEU slate and everything. And what a shit show. But hopefully what's happening now, there's going to be more stuff that's going to get announced, spin-off shows and everything too. I mean, it's going to be pretty insane what 2021 ends up giving us. It really is going to be pretty insane. And then, and then of course, you knew this would happen. I mean, obviously, it's a fucking business. Of course they're going to do this. HBO Max ends free trial offer ahead of Wonder Woman 1984. Yes, of course. They need to make money off of this film. This film was very expensive. It's one of their biggest fucking franchises. So naturally, they were going to do that. So anybody who got their free trial offer that can't get that anymore, sorry, you're a little too late. It's just the way it is. I mean, the fact of the matter is you still got Disney Plus. That is, when new movies came out, they were charging like a $25 to $30 premium just to fucking watch Mulan, which I didn't do. I just wasn't as much as like I was always like, well, yeah, if you were to go to the movie theaters, 2 people and you get like some drinks or some food, it would cost, of course, that much. And you can literally have like as many people in the comfort of your own home to watch the thing. So I'm like, I could see the reasoning behind it perfectly fine. But the fact that they're not going to charge extra for it just kind of shows you something. They're, like I said, they're just, let's put it all in. I don't think they're not holding pocket aces. That's for damn sure. Ace King, maybe an Ace Queen. Maybe that's what they're holding. And, I mean, the Queen, of course, being Gal Gadot, The Ace is the Snyder Cut. So that's what I think they're holding. The Ace and the Queen. Okay, they're holding Wonder Woman 84. That's the Queen. And the Ace is Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's what I'm going to say right there. And I think that's pretty much, that's all I got to say, guys. That's all I'm going to ramble about. So there you go. Like I said, I'm one of those people that will still go and watch the movie. And then I love the fact that I can immediately watch in the comfort of my own home. I love that. Technology, fucking crazy. I get blown away by technology now where I could literally just take my phone and just connect it to my TV wirelessly and I could stream whatever the fuck I want, TV and whatnot, no cable, no boxes, no anything like that. I still get mesmerized by that stuff. But the fact of the matter that I can actually go have a cinematic experience and then come home and rewatch it, I do kind of dig that. I do dig that, but at the same time, I hate the fact that all these movie theater chains are just going to start closing down unless they've just cut costs. But who knows the logistics of all that? Because obviously, I mean, I was never one of those people. Like I don't get popcorn or soda. I mean, sometimes, maybe occasionally, but if I go to the ones that have alcohol, it's so funny because you know what happens? You know what's interesting? Because usually if you go to a place that serves alcohol or beer or something like that, guess what? The drinks are cheaper than the fucking popcorn. It's like, come on, movie theaters, AMC, you're so pissed off. Why are you charging like $12.75 for a fucking bag of popcorn? Stop it. That's what I hate. And I always said, I don't fucking do that shit. I just don't get, if they serve beer or alcohol, I'll get one of those. And I'm like, I'm paying like $6.50 for a beer. A premium beer too, not a fucking Bud Light. I'm buying something that's, that you don't get everywhere else. That's fucking great. 2 beers and I'm feeling good. Bad thing about it though, of course, you might have to pee during the movie. But it's okay, give or take. But it's just kind of interesting how that is. It's like, okay, well, lower your concession stand prices. Then maybe try to do that at first. Do that. Maybe try that angle first. But like I said, chains are just going to start closing down, and they're just going to turn into empty, condemned buildings, and the IMAX theaters are going to be like tourist attractions almost. They're going to be like theme parks. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. And I don't say that movie theaters are fully dead, but yes, there's going to be like a lot of closing movie theater. I mean, like I said, the stocks plummeted after the announcment. So, and you gotta remember too, is like, Disney is going to follow suit. They are, and other companies, Universal, any of them, they're going to start Paramount. They're all going to they're going to follow suit. They have no choice. Warner Media, I should say, is leading the way. So there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. I know I rambled on for a while, but there's just a lot to talk about when it comes to this subject, and it's just going to be very interesting. We're entering a new age. Pretty much Christmas is going to start off a new age of how we watch new movies, and it's scary and exciting at the same time for me. Some people are loving the shit out of it. Some people are hating it. I'm like in the middle where I'm like, okay, I see both. But see, I'm looking at it like I'm still going to, do that whole thing. And hopefully you guys do too. And we got to realize that, once they roll out globally and if they get enough like subscribers, in the millions or the hundreds of millions, hopefully tens to hundreds of millions. At $15 a pop or 16, whatever the hell it is. And then they have box office. It's going to be weird how they gauge how successful a movie is when it comes to actual box office, and then of course the streaming. And it's going to be interesting to see how directors react, because you got like an old school guy like Martin Scorsese who decided, hey, well, my newest movie is going to go to Netflix, even though it had a week out in the movie theaters. It's going to be weird. It's going to be interesting to see how they react when they have both the options. I wonder how Christopher Nolan's going to feel about that. I know today he was talking to like India, the country of India, because Tenet was going to start releasing in movie theaters, and he gave like a message to them and everything. And of course, we know all that. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how that's all going to work out with him. He's very old school, and it seems like Marty was like welcoming in the new age, I guess, of getting a movie out there. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all this? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing this stuff. Follow me on the Sock Meds down below, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Join the Patreon if you want to join the Patreon. Help out the pirate ship. I surely appreciate it. Like I said, you could submit video questions for the vodka stream, and I probably will start doing it for Film Junkie Live. So that'll only be for strictly for the patrons. And then, of course, merchandise down below. All right, guys?